There was a time where we tried different types of pills, Levitra, Cialis, and of course Viagra, the big one. They were not all that, they didn't do much good.
Okay.
Because what was going on, quite often, yes, I could have an erection, but then I'd lose it real fast before we could complete the act of sexual encounter. I've tried for a little better than 2 years. I did what they call TriMix, which is the injectable directly into the penis. Needle is a insulin needle.
Yeah.
That little sting when you first put it in. Two problems with it. One was it has to be refrigerated at all times, never frozen. So when you travel, you have a little cold pack.
Take a little cold pack.
Okay. And then over time, like with a lot of medication, I had to continue to increase the dosage. So TriMix is made of 3 different chemicals. I don't know, you have to go to a compounding pharmacy. And at one point, at the end, I ended up with what was called quad mix. They added a 4th chemical. And that's when we kind of drew the line. And to give you a little background, at that point, we went to see the urologist we were using at the time. And he kind of, I won't say he threw up his hands, but he basically said, that's it. Okay? Well, we are I gotta look around, a sexually active couple, okay? We're not ready to sit down and clip coupons. So consequently, that wasn't it, as far as we were concerned. So we did some research on the internet. We found out about the implants. We contacted the manufacturer, AMS. They supplied us with information, but then also supplied us with physicians, urologists, that is, in the area. And then I was very, very fortunate in that I was visiting, or we were, my dermatologist.
Okay.
And while I was there, I asked the dermatologist, I said, I've got this list, and we had interviewed two at that point, urologists, and just couldn't get the warm fuzzies going, because you've got to have a little confidence in the person.
When you mean interview, you're talking to them about doing the procedure?
Right.
Yes,
and
where we would
they all
just
showed us.
After the research has been done, you make the decision to go
And we would just
forward with
schedule a
the
short
procedure.
appointment with them.
And
We're
just to
considering
see
this,
if
we'd like to
there's
speak with you
a
one-on-one.
comfort level there.
Exactly.
But anyways, in talking to my dermatologist, I said, hey, you know, I've got the list of these doctors, and I'm looking up on the internet, and I'll be damned, I cannot find anything definitive in the websites, because I wasn't at the doctor's website, I was at the medical board website.
And everything you read about a doctor is
Self-reported.
all self-reported.
Which it is. So
Hence
what
the reason for this ebook.
what my dermatologist said, he said, I can't suggest one to you, but if you give me a name, if I know the person, I will tell you if they're good or bad.
Oh.
Which I did, and consequently that's how we ended up with the urologist that we used.
Okay.
We then set up the appointment to see him. We sat down, we talked, he explained the procedure. We liked the guy, we felt at ease with the man. And at that point, the big question was, does insurance cover it? Well, as it turns out, I was on Medicare at the time, and I was 70 years old, so now I'm 73, so roughly 2.5, almost 3 years ago.
3 years come December 1st.
Second birthday, of sorts. So his office checked, and yeah, they did. He explained to me, which I had read on the internet, there are 2 different ways of doing the incision. You can either do it through the scrotum or just above the penis.
At the bottom of the pubic bone.
And his method, which was through the scrotum, which is what I had. And at the same time, I've subsequently found out the reason why not all urologists do the procedure is a lot of the urology schools, medical schools I should say, no longer teach it, or some don't teach it anymore because you've got the pill.
So for a while, apparently they weren't emphasizing it.
Yeah.
The original, to go back a little bit, the original urologist
20 years ago.
who had told us that after quad mix there was nothing, and we asked him about surgery, and he would not recommend the
Because he didn't do
procedure because he did not happen to do the procedure.
But that was pretty important because what I'll tell anybody that asks me is, see if your urologist does it, one, and see how many procedures he does a year.
Yeah.
If the guy, it's just like if you have open heart surgery, if he's only done one of those, you don't want to be it.
Probably not. Probably.
It's just like when it comes to prostate cancer, which is something all guys in our age group think about. You're too young. But when you think about that stuff, and of course the thing you hear advertised is robotics versus the old gold standard where they actually cut open, and that's a big procedure as far as recoup goes. I once attended a seminar, and the urologist was up there talking and about prostate cancer, removal of the prostate, and one of the people in the audience said, well, we keep hearing about robotics, how come you don't do it? It happened to be a female, and it was a very good, she said, do you want to be the first one I want to run around? Same thing when it comes to urologists. You don't want to be the first one, the first implant the guy's just done. But okay, going back to the procedure.
Yeah.
The procedure itself was an overnight stay in the hospital.
Okay.
Some doctors, from what I understand, do it that way. Others do it as outpatients because you do have a catheter.
Yeah.
Okay. From what I understand from my wife, who was in the waiting room, I was sleeping during the process, so I didn't know that. It took about 20 minutes.
No, about 45.
About 45 minutes. Spent the night in the hospital. I'm sure they gave me pain medicine through the IV. It's one of those things you don't know what they're giving you half the time. Went home the next day, had a prescription for pain pills. I was very, very fortunate. I only had to take one, and I'm sure everybody is different. We have a two-story home. That evening, I walked downstairs and had dinner.
Oh.
I had to continuously ice it because, of course, you got swelling.
Yeah.
You've got to get rid of the swelling. Within 2 or 3 days, I guess. I'm just doing everything I normally would do.
Okay.
Except,
Realizing that it is a retired lifestyle, it's not like you had to get up and go to the office or go do manual labor or anything like that.
Okay.
but
Was over.
but also realizing that then came the real hard part. No sex for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
That's the reason.
Like any surgery,
Right, any
it's more than just having the incision heal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of internal healing that has to take place. So you've now been given this wonderful new toy and you don't get to play with it for 6 weeks.
You also asked in here, how has it changed my life? Okay. For some people it would, for some people it would not. If you're a person who wants to continue to have an active sexual life, it makes a huge, huge difference because there's a point where you feel as if you're not a whole as a man because you can't sexually satisfy your woman, okay? And I don't know if that's a natural instinct, but I think it might be. Since 3 years or 2.5 years that this has been in, it's made a huge difference. It's made a huge difference in my outlook. I'm whole. I can do anything anybody else wants to do within reason, okay? That makes a big difference. So psychologically, I feel much, much better. And obviously, whenever we want to have a sexual encounter, we can. I don't have to worry about, let me go get a shot, or let me take a pill and let's wait for it. And it's there. It's there as long as we want it to be there. After the 6 weeks were over and I went to my final checkup with the urologist before saying, okay, go ahead and use it, I said to the doctor, I said, well, how long can I keep it up? His comment was a very good one. I wouldn't leave it up while you go to sleep. The other thing now this was prior to actually the procedure. Ladies have, depending on the size of their breast, they can have breast augmentation if they need it, either increase, reduce, whatever it may be. Well, us guys have a similar thing, but we're not talking about our breast, we're talking about the size of our penis. So I asked my urologist, I said, well, can you make it wider, longer? Can't do that. So whatever you got, you're going to end up with. A couple of important facts, and this is important, and being realistic. I can still have an orgasm just as before. I can still have the same feelings as before. It does not change the feelings whatsoever. In a lot of ways, it's more rewarding because, as my wife will say, I'm not worried whether or not I can perform or not. The psychological is
takes a
gone.
lot.
All the pressure's gone.
That makes sense.